on Recon, a mile-by-mile preview of the LA Marathon. I'm Martise Moore, your Run Faster coach, and today we're running mile 11. I have the privilege of running with Zach today.
Hello.
Zach is running for the charity PS Arts, and we're going to find out more about Zach and the charity that he's running for. So let's get started. Yeah, so right now we are on Hollywood Walk of Fame, running into the heart of Hollywood. It's a lot of activity here, as you can imagine, or maybe you've heard, but it's really flat, so you should be able to continue your pace pretty easily here. Again, this is mile 11, so still kind of early in the race. So this is the time where you can really start to sightsee and see all the different shops and interesting venues here on the Hollywood Boulevard. So anyway, Zach is running the LA Marathon this year, and he's running on a charity relay, right?
Yeah, so we're going to split it half and half with my little brother who's also running for PS Arts.
Oh, your little brother, oh
Yep.
cool. So do you know who's running first and who's running second? Or?
I'm taking first.
Okay.
Because it's like 0.2 miles shorter, I believe.
Oh, really?
So I dubbed first.
Does your brother know that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so tell us about what a relay is, first of all, and then we'll talk about your charity.
Yeah, well, I think it's, relay's just, we're splitting the race, so 26.3 miles, I think, is the whole marathon, right? 26.2. So I'm running the first 13 and then tapping him off, and he'll finish it up for us.
Okay, so do you guys have some kind of cool tap that you guys are going to do?
I don't know, we'll have to get a secret handshake. Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah, you're right. There you go, I got some homework.
Right. So you've run the LA Marathon before, though.
Yes, I ran the whole thing last year for PS Arts as well.
Uh-huh.
And last year was a great experience. It was tough. My training consisted of, I think, running twice before the marathon.
Okay.
And, my bedroom was upstairs in the house, but I had to just sleep on the couch on the main floor for like 2 weeks because I could not. There's no way I was walking upstairs after that.
Okay, so what did you learn from that experience?
Learned a lot about endurance and some, what can go on in your head when you just run in silence for 26 miles. But it was a beautiful way to get to see the city. I mean, I've lived here for 6 years and never really saw it from that aspect of all the way up at Dodger Stadium, all the way down through downtown, and then I'd never been happier to see the beach at the, at the end of it there.
Well, what did you learn from a preparation standpoint? Like, obviously, training for 2 days isn't really like the best plan.
Yeah, I learned that maybe I should train like more like 3 or 4 days this year. And that it takes, yeah, absolutely. Like if you want to do something, and I actually ran like, I don't know, more than a couple times, but.
Who are you training with? Are you training on your own?
Well, the team PS Arts does a ton of great stuff. We went to Yas cycling on Sunday. We did a cycling class, and they do some Burn 60 classes, and so as a team we practice a lot together.
Okay, so what is PS Arts and what do they do?
So PS Arts funds year-long arts education for students who attend inner city and underserved schools where the arts have been cut.
Okay.
And so pretty much they're providing amazing classes in painting and dance and music and all the stuff to kids who wouldn't get a chance to express themselves creatively if it wasn't for PS Arts. They work with over 25,000 students in the LA area.
Oh, and, a lot, 25,000.
Yeah, a lot of students. It's a big program, and yeah, they really do a great job in making a huge impact in these kids' lives. Shout out to all the PS Arts ladies and Jacob. Hello.
Hello. So how long have you been a part of this organization? Like, what made you get interested in being a part of it?
So I run a company called Angelino Artistry that sells artwork from LA artists, and then we use a portion of the proceeds to help fund PS Arts programs.
Oh, nice.
So they've been official partners for a couple years.
Okay.
And they're amazing people to work with, and it's great because a small amount can go a long way.
Sure.
Only $250 funds a whole year of art classes.
Are you kidding me? At one
student.
school? Really? Wow. Because, okay, a lot of us, when we think of art, honestly, you can be really creative and create like awesome things with little amount of money, right?
Absolutely.
So
a little bit goes a long way.
exactly.
So last year I think we were able to raise about $65,000 through the LA Marathon
Nice.
for PS Arts, which funded a whole year for an entire school.
Wow.
It really does make a big difference.
So do you have you met any of the kids that are affected by this program?
Absolutely. I've gotten a chance to kind of go into the classes and hang out, and also photographers that I work with, painters that I work with. I've gotten a chance to go in and help out for a day in the classes, and it's just amazing to see. I mean, imagine going to a school where all you do is just math, science, history, and then you go home.
Right.
It's like some kind of dark dystopian future that you don't even want to think about. Like, there has to be music and dancing and painting, and it's also really important to the development of students.
So it's not just like painting, but like
no,
that's also
it's all
music.
kinds of art.
Okay.
Absolutely, music,
Wonderful.
dance, and it's very important to the development of a young student.
Of course.
Having art classes leads to higher graduation rates. Helps performances in other classes.
Right.
And just increases overall happiness and creativity of a child. That's so important.
Okay, we're at another light here. Yeah, so do you have maybe a story you could share with us about how a kid was affected by the program? Or any like interesting works that come out of the program?
Yeah, well, I mean, they do. We do some great stuff. I mean, they sponsored a big LA Modernism art show last year, and they had a bunch of the works from that the kids have made over the years there, and that was like an amazing big art show that we were a part of, and I mean, it's really something that to really get the feel for how great it is. You just gotta volunteer and go help teach a class. Because you really get to see it when you see when you see a kid smile for the first time, like painting, when they haven't been able to for years.
Right.
Because their school hasn't offered it.
Sure.
So.
And yeah, definitely the creativity that requires a different brain function is so important.
And improves overall brain function as well.
Right. Yeah, so not just exercise, but creativity is super important.
Absolutely. Creative exercise.
It makes you wonder, why they're even in danger of losing these kinds of programs in schools.
Absolutely. Well, they're hard things to, funding is tight in California as a whole.
Right.
And unfortunately, arts have become something that schools feel like they can drop without, before they drop other things. And it's sad because it's just as important of a part to people's development.
Right. So, obviously running a marathon or even a half marathon is quite a bit of a challenge.
Absolutely.
And you've talked about how in the past you haven't always trained like the most. But what pushes you to actually train and make this happen?
Yeah, well, I think it's a great, having the marathon as a date in the future is always a great crucible to get you to go train.
Right.
Maybe days or months when, hitting the gym would be a little tough. And so it's a great, goal to have in the distance. And then as soon as it's there, obviously the actual event is a huge exercise, but then there's a ton of motivation that comes with completing something like that.
Right.
I mean, after you run a marathon, you feel so great.
Do the kids come out and cheer for you?
The kids didn't make it out last year, but we had tons and tons of supporters and people holding signs. And the LA Marathon in general is so fun because so many people are out on the street, with signs and cheering people on and handing out sandwiches. And
oh, nice.
you really don't have any 100-yard stretch where somebody isn't cheering you on.
Do you have like a personal goal for this race?
To not die.
Okay, that's always a good one.
Time-wise, no, not at all.
Okay.
It's really just like a personal thing of continuing to push myself when the temptation is there to walk with, the people who are walking in the back, and instead to keep up with the runners that are pushing themselves in the front.
So if we want to support this cause and, help more kids get exposure to the arts in public schools, what can we do?
Yeah, absolutely. Log on to psarts.org and check out some of their programs and learn how you can get involved. Or you can get on AngelinoArtistry.com and buy art prints from local LA artists and help fund art programs through that.
Right.
So there's a lot of ways to help get involved. And, you know, push forward art education in Los Angeles, which is necessary.
Well, we are here at Hollywood and Highland. We're almost at the end of mile 11, but really want to thank Zach for letting us know about this program, because I really didn't know how much you guys did for the arts programs in the public schools. It's really awesome.
Absolutely.
I wasn't the best art student
Me either.
in the world.
Me either. But I'm happy I had art classes all the same.
Exactly. Definitely the music part was really fun
100%.
for me, playing all the different instruments. But we're so glad that you're out here and that you're running with your brother. How did you convince your brother to do it?
It wasn't easy. I didn't give him much of an option.
Okay.
And he loves PSRs. He always comes out and volunteers at all the events. And they have some amazing events that people should come to as well during the year. Like Express Yourself, which is a huge airplane hangar full of great ways for kids to express themselves creatively. It's a very fun day.
Like through
And
video
also,
too?
Oh yeah, tons of different ways. And also Taste of Venice, which is when they have a bunch of different restaurants in Venice. All come in and sponsor food, and you get to try a bunch of different things out and everything, all in support of PS Art. So go to those two events too.
Yeah, I'll definitely want to check those out. Okay, well, right now we are near the Chinese Theater, and that's where you'll be turning off of Hollywood Boulevard, and it's a little bit more tame down there.
I remember this exact part last year.
Okay, yeah, tell us about this experience on being on this part of the race.
Yeah, well, I mean, last year, the start has so much energy and everything that you don't even notice the first 8 miles, probably. I mean, even if you're not a runner, there's so much energy and there's just such a big crowd, and it's a party. Everybody's playing music.
Right.
But in the middle right here, around 10 to 20, it's a lot of flat, a lot of concrete, and so it gets hotter. And this was definitely the toughest part of the race for me, like mile 11 to mile 15, 16.
Okay.
Right in the middle, because at the end you have the motivation because you're almost finished. But kind of right there in the middle was the toughest part, and this is like right on the flat of Hollywood. I remember just struggling pretty hard.
Even though it's flat.
Yeah, even though it's flat. I mean, you run up and down and up and down.
Right.
So it's almost harder on your legs to just run flat, and it's also a little more dull. I mean, it's entertaining and there's tons of stuff to look at, but there's not the challenge of like charge up a hill and then glide down. It's kind of just like, all right, well, you got 20 more miles of flat. Come on, keep going.
Right. So what about in terms of your hydration and things like that at this mile? Because last year was really hot.
It was really hot last year, but they did an amazing job of having people out and about passing out water, and you were really never, and we had ran with gel packs and everything like that.
You need to run in the
for
street.
Cars. But they did an amazing job of having people out, and you could just grab water as you were jogging along, and a ton of volunteers came out and helped pass out water and everything, so it's really great.
Okay, we're at the theater now. You can see there's a lot of activity going on here. Okay, sheriff with rainbow boots on. So never a dull moment around here, and especially the cheering is going to be off the chain. So I think that'll help push you through on this mile.
100%.
So we're going to finish right here, and want to thank Zach again for coming out and tell us all about PS Art. We're going to put up the link on greenrunnerla.com/blog so everybody can have it if they want to donate or volunteer for the program. And tomorrow we're going to run mile 12, which goes past one of my favorite restaurants. And until then, if you have any questions, running or racing questions for me, tweet me at GreenRunnerLA or email me at greenrunnerla.com. And we'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. for mile 12. Keep running, everybody.